It's a new week, which means that, yeah, there's another mining rig released. This is the Goldshell ALEO Box II. And this is normally where it's like, hey, this is making 20 bucks a day. Mining the ZK Snark mining algorithm at 54 megahash a second, the successor to the AE Box I already. 530 watts of power consumption, and depending on where you buy this and when you buy it, or really the expected lead time, it's gonna cost about $1,500 to $2,500. It's a Goldshell box miner. 3 PCIe connections on this. They want you to use these splitters because they're pushing the absolute envelope of what you can do with these. So I got this old Leatherman. I present to you the world's smallest scissors. That was such a oh my gosh. The last set I got was so sticky. I'm telling you, it wasn't that easy. Talk about just bringing a bazooka to a chess match. Wow. Okay, anyway. Now we can put our fancy tool away. Inside the box, there's also a Wi-Fi adapter. So we'll just slap the Wi-Fi adapter on here. Wi-Fi adapted. All right, so it wasn't that long ago that I received the ALEO Box I miner. And this isn't groundbreakingly better, right? We put the specs on screen and compare their performance. It's not astronomically better, but it is better. However, it's just crazy how fast that we speed run through these different miner models. This is a newly ASIC mined coin. There's a lot of risk there inherently with that. So let's hook this up and then I'll explain a bit more. Yeah, that's nasty. We're gonna need an Ethernet cable. Even if you wanna set up Wi-Fi, you're going to want to connect an Ethernet cable first to then be able to set up that Wi-Fi configuration. Now, I'll take this power supply. This did not come with a power supply. I appreciate Goldshell sending us this to review with the rapid turnover in miner models. At some point, I'd have to draw a line budgeting that it doesn't make sense to buy every new miner model that comes out. We did that over the last few years if we weren't sent it to review or didn't have some other kind of, bartering compensation for it. And a lot of the new altcoin miners had terrible returns, losing us essentially over $50,000 just in the pursuit of buying rigs that I probably wouldn't have bought if I wasn't excited to make a review video here on the tube about them. So I'll put this power supply right here. It's got all these PCIe connections. This is just a typical Bitmain power supply. It's an APW7, right? So it does 1800 watts potentially. It can run on 100 to 140 voltage as well as 200 to 264 voltage. So these are great versatile power supplies to have. You can run many different miners and many different configurations. Stuff like this used to be like the standard. You would power the Antminer S9 and L3 Plus with the previous generation of these power supplies. All right, so I've got this all plugged up. I will turn this because the hot side is gonna be the back side. These intake fans will pull air through, cool the hash boards that are inside that are heating up, consuming all the electricity, doing all of the work, the proof of work, the mining, and the heat will come here out the back side. So that's all plugged up, good to go. So due to the power consumption of this, you could plug it into any normal wall outlet, assuming you have the correct rated power supply, which this would work. For that, I could also plug it into a PDU, right, a power distribution unit. Looking at the available plugs I have over here, I'm actually gonna plug it into a PDU, but I'm gonna use a typical US wall connection, right? A NEMA plug, right, C13 over here. But I have these little useful adapters that have a C20 connection, right? and then a typical plug outlet on the other side. So this saves me sometimes from buying power cables and things like that. I like these solid units. I've never had a problem with them. We plug this in. These have no switch on them. It'll automatically fire up. Easiest way to see it's on is the fan simply spinning right here. We notice that the rig's firing up. Feel the air coming through. So I'm really excited to have the opportunity to review this, but I'm like also very burnt out of a new miner model coming out like month after month. So I've been doing this like 8 years, right? And back in my day, a model came out and it would just reign supreme for a while. You know, there were a few hits and misses and stuff like that, right? But like the Antminer S9 Bitcoin miner reigned supreme, or was just a dominant miner, a very good miner for years and years. And then the L3 Plus, very much the same thing. And there are some other miners that at least did pretty well for a while. But the further you go into altcoins, just the more there just seems to be rapid development and release of mining rig models. And over the last year, I've watched over 100 different mining rigs come out. That's crazy, that's unprecedented, and the mining space is just accelerating at a rapid pace. And it's tiresome, right? You know, you work hard, you grind your 9 to 5, you finally get a couple grand, you want to throw at something, you say, okay, I'll do mining, you buy a miner model, and then the next month, it's already old news. Devastating. Right? What if that was your first mining rig? You'll probably make it your last. All right, so that's booting up. Let's jump behind a computer screen and get this set up, and then I'll just let it run for a few days and monitor those mining rewards. So if you don't know, Luxor is a sponsor of the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I'm also mining on their pool. We also just got a super cool rebate from them. If you're using their miner firmware, LuxOS, you go in there and punch in VoskCoin, you will support the channel and get a reduced mining fee. This is my Goldshell AE Box Pro that I already had set up. I logged into this just to speed run what I was doing, but it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward, right? So I give my IP address, IP scanner, or I can log into my router app on my phone. I've shown that on the channel before. I get my IP address. That's what I need to do. 192.168.6.8, right? At that point, I punch that into my browser, brings me here. I always have to switch the default language to English here. I click on lock. Default password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then you click unlock. From that point, I click over to miner, I click add, and I click on just auto populate DX pool. Then I copy my ALEO address, right? And so I just have a deposit address from Coinbase, .worker name, put it there, password 123, save, and then I start mining. I go over here, I punch that same address into the statistics dashboard page of DX pool to double check I'm actually hitting the pool at my address like I should be, right? So refresh this, you can see my hash rate is going up. I scroll down to the bottom, I see 2 workers here. I see my AE Box Pro that's been here for a while. You can see it's 1 day hash rate here, extrapolate it out. Then we look at my AE Box II. This is essentially no data other than it's here and it's got a current hash rate because I just set this up. And that's how quick and easy it is to start mining with this. Ideally, you set up a wallet and you're the custodian of your coins and stuff like that. But for me, I'm gonna trade out of my ALEO coins the next time it pumps into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that I wanna hold long term. All right, got some mining data. Uptime on this is nearly 4 days. You can see the mining performance here. It's doing fine. Right now it's reporting 63.5 mega hash a second. So let's look at what it's supposed to do and go from there. When we look at the most profitable miners around right now, ALEO is still topping that list, even though mining profitability has decreased exponentially. This is, again, the Goldshell AE Box II, not the AE Box or the AE Box Pro. This is supposed to do 54 mega hash a second at 530 watts, which means that at 7.5 cents per kilowatt hour, which is my electricity rate, I'm only spending $1 a day to operate this machine, and I should be profiting about $12.62. Now let's see what the mining pool says that we're doing. So I punch my ALEO address in over here on DX pool, and then I look at my hash rate per day and my profits per day. You can see my average hash rate before plugging it in was probably 46, 47 mega hash a second. So I'm getting about 50, 53 mega hash a second of actual realized mining hash rate here on the mining pool, which is what your payment is based off of. So that's pretty much in line with what we should be getting. So that's cool. That's good to see. How has this impacted the mining profitability? I was mining almost a flat 50 ALEO a day before I plugged this in. And now I'm mining 111, 105, and 99. And we can also see the payouts here by day, and you can crunch these numbers and come to your own conclusion if you don't want to just go off what the profit chart says here. So the bottom line is, right, we'll say we're mining about 100 ALEO a day, especially once you adjust it for the fact that the mining profitability is going to continue to go down because you look at the other most profitable miners in the world, some of those are other ALEO miners from other manufacturers like the Ice River AE0. This is technically announced in January, but it's April now and no one has received these. The only thing Ice River has been sending out is a plaque to all of the influencers garnering their favor, and you're going to see them all tweeting about it. And they'll be sending these AE0s to everyone that will make a video on them as well for free. Just want to make sure you understand that. So ALEO, right? We're mining about 100 a day. So between those two devices, I'm mining about $20.70 a day. So I'm more or less like on target with the mining profitability I'm supposed to be getting. In the last 30 days, ALEO has crumbled 41%, which has been pretty painful. For mining profitability. If you zoom out even further, back in the end of 2024, it traded all the way up to $6 a coin. Market cap 74 million now. It's trading at 20 cents a coin. So some people are like, we should have just bought the coin. Yeah, that wouldn't have gone too well, buddy. But that doesn't mean that mining is always the solution or buying the coin's a solution. And remember that at the time of recording this, it just bounced off an all-time low literally 7 minutes ago. It's not exactly ALEO is just doing absolutely awful. I mean, the whole market is red. The whole market is a bloodbath. And today we're seeing double-digit losses in almost every altcoin. So that's tough. That sucks. I'll link out directly to Goldshell down in the video description below. They're selling this directly themselves, and these are also being sold through resellers. So we can see the AE Box II over here. And I do have a referral link to support the channel down there. You know, if you do want to grab one of these, I appreciate if you do use our link. And you can see you can get it with the power supply or without a power supply, and the associated price points. What I'd love to see them make, now that they're making these little mini modular miners like the Byte, which, you know, it's just a 140 watt miner, kind of like the Canon Nano 3S, whatever, even powered by USB-C. But the standout here is that you'll basically be able to pull the hash boards in and out to update this when they become obsolete, and you've reused some of the components and they don't have to rebuild the whole thing. So depending on the price point and the mini mining decentralization, I think this is cool. But to be honest, what I really want to see here is a Bitcoin miner, because it's really exciting to see all the different people that are putting BitAxes in their shop. For example, we work with ASIC Marketplace as an affiliate, and we said, hey, you guys should carry the BitAxe Gamma. And we said that to many other resellers as well. And after that, they've all started picking up the BitAxe Gamma and selling it. And to be frank, it wasn't before, it was after. So the BitAxe Gamma is pretty sweet. One thing I just want to make sure is this is a pretty low price point from ASIC Marketplace to get a BitAxe Gamma in general, right? Also, with free shipping, with the power supply included. And I just hope that this listing is not misleading, because this is a Noctua fan, and if I don't receive that, I feel ripped off. This also looks like the power mining BitAxe Gamma, and I wonder, are they actually sending a power mining BitAxe Gamma? Because you don't normally see their BitAxes being sold quite this low, especially with a Noctua configuration, because they are not just a seller, right? Which we reviewed on the channel, that video, all that stuff, but they're also a manufacturer. And that's why they're behind many of the BitAxes you'll see flying around in the market right now. All in all, the Goldshell AE Box II is a great miner today, but I'm worrisome that it's going to be a great miner tomorrow. You look at the efficiency right on this device, and that's coming in at 9.81 joules a mega hash. And if you compare that to the Ice River, ALEO miner, the Ice River ALEO miner is basically 5 times more efficient, which means that they could just make a million of these to the point that only their devices will be profitable and sink Goldshell into just irrelevancy due to the lack of efficiency, meaning that the Goldshell miners would first be burning more than they're earning in coin comparatively to the Ice River miner. And with the huge emission of ALEO, we're also going to see probably Bitmain jump into the mix and drop their own massive ALEO miner. So as always, do your own research and do whatever you want to do. I'm Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next video. 10 seconds of tails. We run it on every clip.